Hi friends, welcome to the Weight Loss Stories by Serge channel, where we share inspiring weight loss stories. Today we have a new and very interesting story that will definitely motivate you. Share in the comments how you cope with challenges on your journey, and let's get started.
Story of Claude Martinson, told in the first person. Part 1. The beginning of the end. I'll never forget that day, March 14th, 2022. A gray Monday in Portland, Oregon, with light rain tapping against the roof of my beat-up Ford Explorer. The day the scale in Dr. Randall Fisher's office read exactly 308 pounds. He took off his glasses, rubbed the bridge of his nose, and said, "Claude, you're pre-diabetic. If you don't make some changes, you'll have full-blown diabetes in a year or two. Given your family history, that's a straight shot to a heart attack before 40. Dr. Fisher had been my physician since I moved to Portland 6 years ago. He had also been my Uncle Frank's doctor before Frank died from diabetes complications. Maybe that's why I saw not just professional concern in his eyes, but genuine worry. I was 35 years old, struggling to catch my breath just from climbing to the second floor of my house in the Hawthorne district. I wore triple XL clothes from DXL or ordered from king size because nothing in regular stores fit me. My breakfast was usually 3 donuts from Voodoo Donut and 2 glasses of orange juice. Lunch was a massive serving of pasta with meat sauce or a double cheeseburger from the cafeteria at Pacific Northwest Insurance, where I worked as a risk management officer. Dinner? Almost always delivery via Uber Eats, usually pizza from Domino's or a greasy Five Guys burger with fries. Snacks in between? Snickers bars, spicy Doritos, Oreo cookies. I never even noticed how much I was eating. But sitting in that doctor's office at Providence Medical Center, I felt real fear for the first time. My dad had died of a heart attack at 42 in his home in Cincinnati. Uncle Frank, at 45, slumped over his desk in Seattle. Both had struggled with obesity and diabetes. And I was walking the same path, step for step. Driving home on the rain-slicked WU 84, I cried. For the first time in years, I let myself break down. Tears rolled down my chubby cheeks as I stared at my reflection in the rearview mirror. Who was this man? How did I let it get this bad? Nodrosser Part 2. Denial and Realization. The first 2 weeks after that doctor's visit, I felt like I was in a fog. By day, I worked as usual, fielding calls from unhappy clients, buried under deadlines in my windowless 9th floor office on Alaska Street. At night, I sat in front of my 65-inch Samsung TV, eating straight from takeout containers and washing it down with Budweiser. But something had changed. I started noticing how often I ate. How frequently I opened my Sub-Zero fridge without even being hungry. How I used food to cope with stress and boredom. I noticed the shortness of breath, the aching knees, the chafing skin folds, the constant sweating, even when the office AC was blasting. Tomorrow, I start fresh, I'd tell myself every night while finishing another extra cheese, double pepperoni pizza. Monday for sure, I'll hit the gym, I promise myself on Sundays, ordering a bacon jalapeno double cheeseburger from Whataburger through the app. At the end of March, I bought a membership to the LA Fitness near my house. Went once. After 15 minutes on the Precor treadmill, I nearly passed out. The embarrassment of having 2 lean-toned trainers help me up was so overwhelming that I never went back. But I still paid $39.99 a month for the membership. I Googled diets, tried at least 10 in April. Keto, paleo, intermittent fasting, veganism, Weight Watchers, Noom, calorie counting. None lasted more than 3 days. I'd binge after each failed attempt, eating more than before to make up for the deprivation. Maybe I'm just meant to be fat, I thought, staring at my massive reflection in the bathroom mirror. Maybe this is just who I am. Part 3. The Turning Point. May 1st, 2022. Everything changed. I was walking through Lloyd Center Mall when I saw 2 teenagers pointing at me, laughing. One of them, a tall kid in a Portland Trail Blazers jacket, exaggerated my heavy steps like I was a cartoon character. That same evening, my 11-year-old niece, Sophie, my sister Emily's daughter, whom I adored, sat on my lap at a family dinner at Cheesecake Factory and asked innocently, "Uncle Claude, why is your belly so big? Are you pregnant like Jessica's mom at school?" Something snapped. I realized this wasn't about diets or gyms. It was deeper. It was about self-respect, about dignity, about how I saw myself. The next day, I called in sick to work. Instead of going to the office, I went to see a therapist recommended by Dr. Fisher. Dr. Jennifer Hope, a slender woman with sharp brown eyes and a lavender-scented office, listened to me talk for an hour without interrupting. When I was done, she said, "Claude, it sounds like you use food to cope with emotions you don't want to feel. That's called emotional eating, and you can change it." That day, I started tracking my food in an iPhone app. Not calories, just my emotions before, during, and after eating. The results were shocking. I ate when I was bored, when I was stressed, when I was lonely, when I was angry, when I was disappointed, when I was scared. Food wasn't just food. It was my best friend, my comfort, my escape. One, Part 4. Small steps. Dr. Hope told me to start small, not to overhaul my entire life at once, but to focus on one healthy habit per week. Week 1. Drink 2 liters of water daily. I bought a big hydro flask with markers on the side and took it everywhere, even to boring budget meetings with our CFO. Week 2. Eat breakfast at home instead of grabbing donuts on the way to work. I switched to Quaker oatmeal with berries. It tasted weird at first. By the end of the week, I started adding cinnamon and a little honey. Week 3. Walk 30 minutes a day. At first, I barely made it 15 minutes, stopping every 100 yards to catch my breath. But gradually, I built up stamina, and I started noticing the spring flowers and birds in Laurelhurst Park. Week 4. Swap out soda and juice for water and unsweetened tea. This was brutal. I went through serious sugar withdrawal, headaches, mood swings. I snapped at coworkers. I even yelled at my assistant Maria, which I later apologized for profusely. Week 5. Add a serving of vegetables to lunch and dinner. I learned how to make simple salads and roast veggies in my KitchenAid oven, which had mostly been used for heating up frozen meals before. By the end of the second month, I had lost 15 pounds. Not a massive number, but for the first time in years, my withing scale was moving in the right direction. Part 5. Physical activity. In July, I returned to LA Fitness. This time, I hired a personal trainer who specialized in working with obese clients. Her name was Samantha Rodriguez, a woman in her 50s who had lost over 90 pounds herself. "Forget the treadmill, Claude," she said during our first session, eyeing my knees critically. "We're starting with something that won't wreck your joints." We began with swimming, 3 times a week, 30 minutes per session. In the water, I felt almost weightless, almost normal. It was an incredible feeling. especially after a long day at the office where the AC was always cranked up too high. Gradually, Samantha introduced strength training on knotless machines. We started with minimal weights and slowly increased them. She taught me proper breathing, posture, and how to feel my muscles working. She never yelled or pushed me to exhaustion like some trainers do. Instead, she encouraged me to listen to my body. By August, I had joined a water aerobics class. I was the only man in a group of women over 60, but I didn't care. They welcomed me with open arms, especially Dorothy, a 73-year-old retired school teacher who always exercised beside me and cheered me on. By September, I could walk 5 miles around Mount Tabor Park without stopping. I bought a Fitbit and aimed to beat my step count each day. My goal, 10,000 steps, had seemed impossible at first, but by the end of the month, I was consistently hitting 7,000 to 8,000. One Saturday morning, when I was down to about 265 pounds, I did something crazy. I signed up for a Zumba class at Dance with Joy Studios. There I was, a 265-pound man in an old Navy tank top, drenched in sweat within 5 minutes, bouncing and spinning to Latin beats. I must have looked like an elephant trying to tap dance. But I had so much fun. The instructor, a lively woman named Ramona with impossibly fast feet, winked at me after class. "See you next Saturday, right?" And I went back, and again, and again. Zumba became my addiction. Mabrikora Part 6, Setbacks and Relapses. Not everything was smooth sailing. In October, I hit my first major setback. At Pacific Northwest Insurance, the annual reporting period kicked in. I was working late, barely sleeping, buried under stress. My boss, Richard, was furious about missed deadlines and tore into us at every meeting. The pressure was overwhelming, and my old habits resurfaced. I started ordering Chipotle and Panera Bread again, devouring double burrito bowls and massive sandwiches slathered in mayo. I stress ate Reese's Cups from the office vending machine. In just 2 weeks, I gained 7 pounds. I panicked. I sat in my car outside Target, clutching a package of Oreos, crying. Then I called Dr. Hope. "I messed up," I told her. "I'll never change. This is pointless." She calmly replied, "Claude, weight loss isn't a straight line. It's a zigzag. 2 steps forward, 1 step back. It's not about whether you slip, it's about what you do next." The next day I got back on track. Within a week, the extra weight was gone. A month later, I was down to 253 pounds. The holidays were another battle. Thanksgiving at my sister Emily's place in Vancouver. I had 2 plates of turkey with cranberry sauce and 3 slices of pumpkin pie. Christmas dinners, New Year's parties, co-workers gifting me Godiva chocolates. I caved and ate it all. But this time, I didn't let it spiral. I allowed myself that week, then returned to my habits. By New Year's 2023, I weighed 242 pounds, down 66 pounds in 9 months. I bought my first extra large suit at Brooks Brothers instead of triple extra large. The salesman Alan, a distinguished man with silver-streaked hair, smiled as he helped me adjust the jacket. "This fits you perfectly," he said, "and that navy really suits you." It felt incredible. Part 7. A new relationship with food. By spring 2023, I realized my entire approach to food had shifted. I no longer saw certain foods as forbidden or allowed. There were no cheat meals or detox days. Food was just food, some more nutritious, some less, but nothing was off limits. I learned to eat mindfully, to truly taste every bite, to recognize real hunger versus emotional cravings, to stop eating in front of the TV, to notice textures, aromas, colors. I learned to cook. At first, simple Blue Apron recipes, then more complex dishes. I discovered I actually enjoyed cooking. It was soothing, engaging. I started hosting friends for dinner in my newly remodeled kitchen, complete with a quartz island. I stopped eating in front of my laptop or phone. Meals became a ritual. Even if I ate alone, I set the table, used linen napkins, drank from proper glasses. I learned to savor small portions of high-quality desserts instead of mindlessly devouring junk. One square of Ghirardelli chocolate instead of a whole Hershey's bar. One delicate pastry from Pick's Patisserie instead of a sleeve of Chips Ahoy. By summer 2023, I weighed 220 pounds. All my medical markers were normal. Dr. Fisher was thrilled. Claude, you've done what so few manage. Your cholesterol, blood sugar, blood pressure, it's all perfect. Napgroda Part 8, a new body, a new life. By fall 2023, when I hit 198 pounds, I noticed my skin couldn't keep up. I had loose folds on my stomach, arms, and thighs. It upset me, but Dr. Hope helped me see it differently. Claude, your skin tells the story of where you've been and how far you've come. Wear those scars with pride. I also noticed how differently people treated me. More smiles, more conversations. On my daily commute on the number 15 bus, people no longer avoided sitting next to me. My boss, Richard, who used to ignore me at corporate events, suddenly invited me to lunches, valued my input, and even offered me a promotion. "You've changed, Claude," he said, swirling his Woodford Reserve in a glass at Bartini. "And it's not just the weight. You carry yourself differently." In November 2023, I went on my first date in 5 years. I met Ellen at a sur la table cooking class. She was an editor for Portland Monthly, writing about food and restaurants. She had never known the old, overweight me, but when I showed her my old photos, she said, "I admire your journey, but I'd have gone on a date with you before. You've always had that spark." By Christmas 2023, I hit my goal, 187 pounds, still a big guy, but a healthy one. I could jog 5 miles along the Willamette River without stopping, climb 9 flights of office stairs without wheezing, sleep without snoring, fly on American Airlines without worrying about spilling into the next seat. By January 2024, I knew it was time to stop. My body settled at 176 to 180 pounds, a normal BMI for my 6-foot frame. My focus shifted from weight loss to maintaining and embracing my new life. Part 9. Lessons learned by February 2024. I had lost 130 pounds and settled at around 176 to 180 pounds. But the biggest transformation wasn't my body, it was my mindset. Here's what I learned. 1. Weight loss starts in the mind, not the body. Without addressing the emotional reasons behind my eating habits, no diet or workout plan would have worked long-term. My weekly therapy sessions with Dr. Hope were just as crucial as my time in the gym. 2-point small, gradual changes work better than drastic overhauls. My mistake in the past was trying to change everything overnight. Real sustainable change happens slowly, almost imperceptibly. 3. Setbacks are part of the journey, not the end of it. Every time I slipped up, I learned something about my triggers. Now I know that I hit a wall around day 14 of strict eating. that extreme stress makes me crave chocolate and that the holidays will always be a challenge. Support is essential. My therapist, my trainer Samantha, my sister Emily, and my newfound gym friends, all of them played a role in keeping me accountable and motivated. 5. The body remembers everything. The first few months were the hardest. Then my body adapted, my metabolism adjusted. But the old habits never fully disappeared. I had to stay vigilant. Exercise should be enjoyable. I tried countless activities before finding the ones I loved: swimming, walking, dancing, and weight training without pressure. I learned that I hate running and will never be a marathoner, and that's okay. 7. Food is not the enemy. I learned to eat everything in moderation. I stopped labeling foods as bad or good. A slice of pizzicato pizza is just a slice of pizza, not a forbidden indulgence, not a reward, not a failure. 8. Health matters more than appearance. When my focus shifted to feeling good rather than just looking good, everything became easier. I stopped comparing myself to men's health cover models and started appreciating that I could now climb a hill without gasping for air. 9. This journey has no finish line. I know I will have to maintain these habits for the rest of my life, and I'm okay with that. This isn't a diet, it's my new way of living. Epilogue. As of February 2025, I'm still maintaining my weight at around 176 pounds. I still struggle with old habits. Some days I win, some days I don't. But I no longer let setbacks define me. I recently looked at old photos of myself. That 308-pound man feels like a distant memory, almost like another person. But I'm grateful to him. Without him, I wouldn't be who I am today. My body will never be perfect. I still have loose skin, stretch marks, scars, but it's my body, the only one I'll ever have. And for the first time in my life, I've learned to respect it, take care of it, and most importantly, love it for what it is.
Thanks for being with us. If you enjoyed it and want to hear more stories, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. See you next time, friends. Bye.